action and guys going in there that want to put on a show for the people. We did 51,000 people last fight. Do I think we can do more? Listen, I think we can. You know, I mean, why hold off, right? Manny now is a congressman. Maybe that'll help us get some more people to show up. You know, Antonio has
bring the government workers in from Texas.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you do remember we had a lot of Filipinos in Texas. There are a lot of people that are working in the hospitals, in the hotels, in the service industry in this country and throughout the world that are Filipino based. They're expatriates, but they have this unbelievable just appeal to Manny. So I think they're going to show up.
My next question is a two-pronged answer. If Manny wins, what does it do for him at 154? And if he loses, does it harm his reputation in any way because he's fighting at a much higher weight against a guy who really, even when he fought at welterweight, was considered by many a super welterweight?
I don't think the weight class is you're going to say put an asterisk next to it. Oh, he tried to do too much. I think the way people judge people are based on their performances. If the fans enjoyed the action they got, right, on that night, they're going to want to see them again. I mean, we can talk about Margarito's unbelievable performance with Cotto, but Cotto came back one fight later, two fights later, came back and ended up fighting Manny in a highly anticipated fight that the fans wanted to see. It wasn't about his performance just that one night. So you have to look at the whole resume and how they look in the ring.
And finally, we know about the main event. What about the rest of the card? Is this a card as a card? How appealing do you think it will be?
We're planning on putting a really good undercard together. There's been some reports on some fighters that are going to be on the undercard. I'm not going to say anything yet until we get everything we want. We want to make this a special night for everybody. So we're doing all of our efforts, and I think within the next 10 days we'll have great announcements with a sensational undercard.
Is that the future of boxing, to put on great cards and not just great main events?
The future of boxing is giving the fans a great product across the board, right? Where they have appeal to it, where they connect to it. So that's the product of the sport. The presentation, activity, keeping guys regular. We got to get these guys fighters. They want to fight more often, get them more often out there so people will recognize them. So I mean, I don't say just the undercard is the whole show. You can't put your whole hat on boxing just on the undercard. You got to give them everything. You got to give them a great in-arena experience. You got to give them a great television broadcast like HBO does all the time and Showtime does all the time. You got to give them, great opportunities to show the product.
How important is it? There's a couple of names that have been rumored about. How important is it that maybe have a Kelly Pavlik and expose a guy like Rigondeaux, who's maybe the next big star of boxing, in front of an audience that figures to be massive?
Well, I mean, obviously you're in my office because you must be making the undercard because you're rattling it off. No, I mean, we're obviously trying to make a Pavlik fight on the undercard. To have Kelly on the undercard makes it like you got 2 pay-per-views on one night from an incredible venue. Rigondeaux is obviously a big star right now, he has the potential to be a big star with an incredible ability, world ability, and this would be a great place to show him and show the fans it. So obviously those are all part of the elements of making the stew for a great event.
Todd, can you say whether there's any update on John?
The only update we know at this point is that the weather's still bad in the Washington area, so I think they haven't been able to use the air support to go in and look. They know where his base camp is. Bob and Lovey are on their way to the base of the mountain, and they have the troops that are hiking that are going to be hiking the path. They know when he picked his ticket up to go in to cross the pass and go to the peak, so they have a good timeline. So now they're just hoping that the weather would clear and make it a lot easier.
Was he alone up there in camping?
Yes, he was.
And where are Bob and Lovey right now? Do you know?
They're in the car. I think they left. They were at John's house last night, and they're going to. I think the peak is called Storm King Peak in Washington. John is an incredible, accomplished mountaineer. He's done 80 peaks in Washington of the 100. So he knows nature very well. He's an incredible survivor. He understands all elements of it.
What has he been involved in the boxing business at all?
John?
Yeah.
As a fan.
Yeah. What does he do?
He's an environmental attorney.
How difficult is it to do this today with that hanging over you guys?
You know, it's difficult for all of us in life because you guys are all showing up here with personal issues too, but you have to do a job, right? And when Bob called me yesterday morning, he says, "Man, I need you to take care of this." That's the directive, right? This is my job. When I flew out here, could I get it out of my head? No, I couldn't. You know, when I landed, did I want to know a report? Absolutely, right? But I'm here to do a job. I'm here to give you guys information, present for the fighters, do a great event, and give a press conference. So just like all of us, we all have personal issues. We got to compartmentalize and try to just keep it to ourselves.
This is a big one right now.
Yeah.
How close are you to John?
You know, John's a terrific guy. He's 49. He's the oldest of the brother, and John and I have a good relationship because we both enjoy the outdoors a lot. He's a skier, and I'm a hiker, and we do stuff. And he knows I'm a mountain guy. I have a house in Aspen, so we have a good bond.
How did Bob get notified? What happened?
On Monday morning, Susan, John's wife, called Bob after he was due back on he was due back Sunday night, and Monday morning he hadn't got back, so she called the National Park Service, and they called Monday. She called the National Park Service. They were looking for him, but the weather was bad. So Tuesday, which was yesterday, she called yesterday morning to tell Bob that that he was missing. He was due back on Sunday night.
When you said weather was bad, you just mean rain, or was it also cold over there?
Listen, I don't think that the wet. I don't know if it's really cold or not, and I'm not a meteorologist, but all I've been telling is that air support's been tough because I think it's been rained in.
How many Aram children are there?
There are 3. It's John is the oldest, Richard is the middle, and Liz is the youngest.
Todd, I came late. Is there any update on John?
No, there's no update. They're all proceeding with the hikers, rescue hikers, to the base of the mountain to start by foot retracking where his pass would have been.
Do you know the name of the mountain?
I think it's a Storm King Peak in Washington.
Storm King Peak.
Washington.
What range?
I don't know what range.
Where is Bob and your mom?
They're on their way to the base of the mountain. Yeah.
And he lives in Seattle?
He lives in Seattle.
How big a mountain is it, Todd?
I went online this morning, because when I got there, and it had like I think it said it was like 4,700 feet from sea level, from base to top. I don't know. I was just trying to do my own information as my brain was going.
Those peaks he's trying to climb are all in that area?
Well, I think Washington, according to what I was told by Lovey, is that Washington has 100 peaks, and he has done 80 of them so far. So he was trying to,
He's not just a camper, he's climbing peaks.
But
he's not just a camper.
No. He's an accomplished mountaineer. I mean, he's been to Chile for a month by himself, hiking and kayaking, and he's an incredible telemarket skier. So he's a survivor.
It's a solo hike?
Yeah, he did this by himself.
Solo hike?
Yeah.
You know if he had insurance?
No, I don't know anything.
So, Bob is always a star at these events. Obviously, he must have mixed feelings about not being able to be here, but obviously the biggest thing is to, follow what's going on with it.
It's
Michael, how are you?
Bob understands. I think one of the things that makes Bob at this point, we always talk about it, this is what he loves. He loves hanging around with you guys. He loves coming up with preposterous statements. He loves saying stuff, make you guys laugh. And he loves more than anything to set up on that dais and go off, and stand on his milk box. That's where he loves it. He's P.T. Barnum. So as much as he, and I said to him yesterday, I said, Bob, I'll fly right now to L.A. I'll do L.A. You get to Seattle. No, I want to do it. So you can't take it out of him. He knows this is where he wants to be, but he knows that there's a side of him, like we all compartmentalize, there's a side of him where he has to be with his family.
Have you spoken to him today?
I haven't spoken to him today. I think right now there's no cell services. They're going in through the mountains to the base.